Welcome to Higher Calling Wildlife. This is Chester Moore. Have you ever heard of the Jaguarundi? Did you know that this mysterious and often overlooked cat lives in the United States of America? It's part of the native range. The Jaguarundi is a possible link to the Black Panther phenomenon. But before we talk more about that, take a chance to subscribe to this channel, Chester Moore, wildlife journalist and investigator. You will get my weekly Higher Calling Wildlife updates, tons of cool game camera stuff, and investigative, mysterious wildlife pieces and wildlife conservation information. Back in the early 2000s, I was driving one morning on a barrier island in the upper Texas coast area, and I see this cat cross the road at about 9 a.m. in front of me. I was driving really slow because I just come around a curve. And I saw this cat walking probably 15 yards in front of me. And I slammed on my brakes and went, whoa, a Jaguarundi. Now, most people would not have known what I saw was a Jaguarundi. But I had been able to photograph them in the early 90s at the Texas Zoo in Victoria when they had one of these cats. Now, you're probably thinking, what the heck is a Jaguarundi? It is a small cat that has a tail longer than its body that can be dark gray or brown phase. And they are native to the United States of America with verified specimens from Texas and I do believe New Mexico, Arizona over the time. But there has been no quote-unquote verified Jaguarundi in Texas since I believe the 1990s or late 1980s. However, I absolutely saw one. And I wrote an article about this back then at The Anomalist. And in that article, I quote a then Texas Parks and Wildlife biologist who lived in the area, worked in the area, and he said, at least at that time, there were Jaguarundis in the area, and they called them, quote, those little gray cats. And interestingly, I've seen thousands of feral cats. Didn't look like a feral cat. Looked exactly like a Jaguarundi. And I'm absolutely 100% convinced that's what I saw. But I knew what a Jaguarundi was, being a wildlife journalist and photographer and having photographed one at the Texas Zoo back in the very early days of my career. And you have this cat that is about the size of a large house cat, but it has a tail as long as the body. And they are kind of slunk low. And some people call them an otter cat because of kind of an otter shape of their body. But I want to ask you this. If someone had seen the same cat, didn't know what it was, saw that really long tail, a dark gray, almost black colored cat, how many people would say that was a Black Panther? The late Don Zeidel, who was editor-in-chief of Texas Fish and Game before I was, asked me one day if I ever thought that Jaguarundis could be tied into some of the Black Panther phenomenon, like along the Texas-Mexico border. And I said, that's a possibility. Then I ended up seeing one, and I went, oh, people are going to think this is a Black Panther if they don't know what they're looking at. Did you know there were so many Jaguarundi reports in Brazoria County, Texas? Now, Brazoria County is between Galveston and Houston, way up from where the accepted range of the Jaguarundi was along the Texas-Mexico border. Then in the late 1960s, Texas Parks and Wildlife Department did a survey of the area for the Jaguarundi. Also, there are many reports of Jaguarundis in, of all places, Florida. My good friend Jim Broadus at Bear Creek Feline Center has, as far as I know, the only captive Jaguarundi population outside of an AZA zoo in the American South. He's really into this topic, and there are reports that someone had a private collection of Jaguarundis back in the middle of the 20th century, and they released them, and they created this population. This is something that's very controversial, but there are ongoing reports of Jaguarundis in Florida. Now, I saw a Jaguarundi. I'm absolutely 1,000% convinced that's what I saw. 15 yards away, broad daylight, and I'm probably more qualified to say it was a Jaguarundi than most people because of my experience with the cat. But most people would not know that such a creature even exists. So they would see this and go, Wow, that is a black panther. According to Mexican researcher Arturo Casa, the average size of a female is 102 centimeters in length and a male 114. Other sources show up to 120. 120 centimeters, by the way, is 47 inches. So you think about a large male Jaguarundi, 47 inches, 4 feet long, with a lot of that being tail. At a distance, how many reports of these could actually be what people are calling black panthers? I don't think reports in Ohio of black panthers are Jaguarundis, but certainly it's possible in areas of Texas, the Southwest, and perhaps even in Florida. And it's something certainly worth talking about. And if you think the Jaguarundi is something that you're interested in, please leave a comment. And I may do more just in general on Jaguarundis. But do you think you might have seen a Jaguarundi? Do you have video or photographs from a trail camera, your cell phone, that possibly could be a Jaguarundi? You can share them with me at chester@chestermore.com. That's chester@chestermore.com. We would love to post them here on the channel. What are your thoughts? Is the Jaguarundi a potential suspect for the Black Panther? I don't think, as I've said before, it is the top answer. But on part 1, we talked about escaped exotics. Part 2, we talked about potential of black mountain lions. Now we're looking at the Jaguarundi. At the very end, I'm going to do a list of what I think from top to bottom, the top suspects. And the Jaguarundi is something that I think is a pretty decent suspect in certain areas. What are your thoughts? Well, thank you for checking this out. Please subscribe to the channel. Much more information coming on this series on Black Panthers.